You are looking live at a tremendous setting. We're here at Galisano's Hospital here in the heart of Lee County, one of the great children's hospital in the state of Florida. And we're so thrilled that they've rolled out the accommodations for Lee Pitts Live. And we'll be here for the next 4 weeks, so keep it locked. Have an outstanding guest here today. You've seen on the show before, but she needs little introduction, but let me introduce her right now. That would be one Trish Routte, the coordinator for Crime Stoppers of Southwest Florida. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Lee.
You know, you keep me safe.
Well, good.
All that information you've been giving me over the years.
Well, and you do a lot for our community. And before we get started, I'd like to do something a little special. So over the years, you know, you and I have talked so many times about keeping our community safe. And you've been such a great partner for Crime Stoppers. So we actually nominated you for a regional award.
Really?
And I want to present you and Lee Pitts Live with the Southeastern Crime Stoppers Association Media of the Year for the entire Southeastern United States.
Whoa, Skinny, I hope you're getting
one,
a picture
baby.
of this. I mean, can you believe this? This is gorgeous. Media of the Year, Lee Pitts Live, Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers. Unbelievable. And they know about me now all up in Knoxville, Tennessee.
All throughout the Southeastern
You're making
United
me famous.
States. Hey, well, you've made yourself famous. But no, this is a token on behalf of Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers and the Southeastern Crime Stoppers Association as our way of recognizing you and your show as being the top media provider for the entire Southeastern United States.
You know, starting off with the show, one of the things I always try to do is get these high ratings, right? And we've been fortunate for 33 years to be one of the highest rated TV talk shows in Southwest Florida for a long period of time. But to receive this is nothing that I could have imagined. And I am just humbled at the whole concept. This goes up there as one of my favorite awards of all times. And usually I don't get surprised, but this is certainly a surprise to me. And I want to thank you and the committee and everybody else. And so let me give a speech. 7 years ago, our forefathers came to this country. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just want everybody to know that, you know, I'm so happy to be able to represent the community in this way and to be associated with keeping our community safe. And to be able to receive an award for that is even more rewarding because you never know who's watching and what people think of what you're doing. So I hope that we've been able to use this vehicle along with Trish and all the other people in law enforcement in this region to inform people and make our community safer. And this will certainly sit in my living room right up there on the mantle next to my diploma from college. So this is the highest award. Thanks a lot.
Well deserved.
All right. So I got that degree. Can I sit this here the whole show? Really nice. Now, you were one of our Lee Pitts Live Persons of the Year many years ago. I think about 3 years ago.
Something like that.
Surprised you with that. So you got me back.
Yes, you did. We're even.
And the reason you were one of the Persons of the Year is because you have been unwavering in keeping us safe in Southwest Florida. First of all, tell our viewing audience and our radio audience as well, what is Crime Stoppers?
So we are the anonymous way for people to do the right thing. So often we know that residents know about unsolved crimes, wanted fugitives, but they don't want to get involved. They don't want to have to go to court, have their name on a police report. So we're the way that they can report that information anonymously. And then law enforcement goes ahead, we take that information, hopefully we parlay that into an arrest. And when that happens, then the person providing that information gets a cash reward. So it's a win-win. You're able to do the right thing. You're not getting involved. You're anonymous from beginning to end, and you're putting cash in your pocket. So it's a win-win. And at the end of the day, the community wins because we're getting bad guys off of our streets.
Let's take a look at some more information on Crime Stoppers that you see on this show.
Do you have information on an unsolved crime or a wanted fugitive but don't want to be seen talking to law enforcement or getting involved in something that you really have nothing to do with? Does the sound of getting cash for your information sound like something you'd be interested in? If so, the only place to turn is Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers. When you submit a tip, you're always anonymous, we don't trace or record your calls, and if your information leads to an arrest, we'll pay a cash reward of up to $3,000. It's just that easy. Do your part to help keep our community safe while earning money at the same time. The Crime Stoppers hotline is open 24/7 at 1-800-780-TIPS or you can submit a tip online at www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com or on the P3 Tips mobile app. Crime Stoppers is how you can make a difference. Paid by CSTF.
Okay, they just saw it. Now, when we looked at that commercial that we see on this show, it's very powerful. It gets to the point and it lets the people know just what you said. They can help get the bad guys off the street, make some money in the process, and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Yeah, and it's so easy. The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We understand that sometimes people may not feel comfortable talking about it. There's the P3 Tips app, or you can go online to SouthwestFloridaCrimeStoppers.com. You can provide that tip anonymously. No matter which vehicle you choose, you're always going to remain anonymous. And if your information leads to an arrest, or if it's a drug tip leads to the seizure of any kind of drug, shutdown of a drug house, any kind of charges like that, we're going to make sure we put cash in your pockets. And that's not taxpayers' dollars money, too. When the bad guys get arrested and they go to court, they have to pay a bunch of fines. One of that is a fine that goes to Crime Stoppers. That goes to the state. They get their piece of the pie there. The rest of that comes back to us in the form of a grant, so we're using bad guys' money to put more bad guys behind bars.
You know, when you started doing what you're doing, I think it's been over 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Is it a little bit more?
26 years with the agency, probably 22 or 3 doing Crime Stoppers.
We did not see mass shootings like we see now, okay? Everybody knows that. And that is one form of crime, preventing mass shootings and mass whatever from taking place. And then there's the everyday smaller angle of crimes that take place. Do you think that now that we have these mass shootings types concepts that people forget there's still smaller stuff that we should need to keep our eyes on? Just kind of talk about that in general, both of them.
On a local scale, the thing that we need to be taking paying most attention to is what's happening here in our community, because unfortunately these acts of violence are happening in our neighborhoods. So we want people to not turn a blind eye. Don't put your head in the sand. If you see something, if you hear something, I mean, we see unfortunately on the news on a regular basis, there's a shooting, there's a robbery, there's a drive-by. We cannot let the bad guys rule our community. So if you have any kind of information, we implore you to please come forward and share that with us. No one's ever going to know that you're, and I don't like the word, but you're the snitch, that you're the one talking to law enforcement, but you could be the key to taking the violence off of our streets. None of us want to live in a community where we're having to deal with shootings, whether it's a mass shooting or whether it's a drive-by shooting, in the neighborhood down the street. We all want to live in a safe community, and if there's something that you can do, information that you have that can help stop the violence, and it's a very small percentage of people in our community that are committing violent crimes.
I see. And
we need to take that small percentage and relocate them to jail so that our community is safe. And we just want the community to be partners with us and take some kind of action and help us make our community safer.
One can never be paranoid. One can never be bugging you guys about something that doesn't come to reality. You want to be bugged. If you're paranoid and you see something that seems suspicious, you better be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. We would rather have someone call us with what they think is happening or what they think they know. If it turns out to be nothing, no harm, no foul, that's fine. But we need that information. Let law enforcement check it out. If it turns out to be nothing, whatever. But if it turns out to be a drug house, if it turns out to be somebody that's committing a violent act in our community time and time and time again, and your information can put them behind bars, you've done a great thing. Now, sometimes people just call us because it's the right thing to do. They just want these people out of our community. But, the money is a big motivator, and we get that, and that's fine. We're anxious to pay out that money. Last year, we paid out well over $100,000 in cash rewards. So that money is a motivator.
Probably non-taxable.
Non-taxable because
throw that in.
We don't know who you are. Uncle Sam don't know who you are either. So this is tax-free money, and it's straight cash in your pocket.
And I love the idea that you are batting 1,000, meaning that all of those people who have reported crimes, most have been rewarded when the crime is solved or what have we. Well, let's go to that first. Does crime have to be solved for them to get their reward? And two, the fact that you're batting 1,000, nobody's identity has ever been revealed. Take those one at a time.
Right.
Go.
Yeah, not once has the identity of a tipster ever been known. So once we get that information, we immediately turn it over to law enforcement. If they make that arrest, we will pay out that cash reward literally within days. And we don't make people wait through like the conviction process. I know sometimes you hear on TV for arrest and conviction. Crime Stoppers operates exclusively on arrests. So if an arrest is made from that tip, we're going to make sure that you've got cash in your pocket within 1 week.
And you took it all in that answer, and you took care of it. That is why Lee Pitts Live, you get this kind of information. That is why we were so fortunate to receive this type of an award as a media in Crime Stoppers, and we're proud for that at Lee Pitts Live. The Crime Stoppers, you of Southwest Florida, that covers what counties?
So we cover Lee, Collier, Charlotte, Hendry, Glades, every law enforcement agency within that jurisdiction. And even if it happens with something that doesn't happen in Southwest Florida, but you have information, say it's happening somewhere else in the state or even somewhere else in the country, we will always share that information with the Crime Stoppers program in a different region. So whatever information you have, we are here for you 24/7 to take in that information, immediately turn it over to law enforcement, and hopefully that information will lead to an arrest.
In order to get paid, you need to go directly to Crime Stoppers at these particular areas. Go.
1-800-780-TIPS, the P3 Tips app, or www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com. Those are the three ways. If you're looking to get paid, that's the way you have to do it. Now, we understand that there's a time and a place for 911. If something is happening urgent, immediate, definitely you need to call 911, but you're not going to remain anonymous. You need to make sure you call Crime Stoppers. Now, if you call 911, make us your second call if you're looking to get that cash reward.
Oh, you can do that?
You can do that, but we have to have you in our system. So
okay.
When you call us, we're going to give you a code number, just a series of 5 or 6 numbers. That is the only way that we identify you from beginning to end. And if your information leads to an arrest or some kind of legal action, we're going to make sure that we pay you out in cash with that code number.
My family and we personally use the app. We're comfortable with that. Has that been a rising use of that, particularly with the new generation?
Yeah, I'd say like within the last 5 or 6 years, the app has been the primary way that people are submitting tips. Obviously, we'll always have the 1-800 number there, the phone that's available 24/7, but people just feel really comfortable on their phones being able to submit that information. And the cool thing with the app too is that you're able to dialogue real time with us. So, sometimes a tipster will give us information, just basic information, and we'll have questions just to try and extract a little bit more information. So we're able to have that conversation anonymously 2 ways with the tipster. So that's super helpful.
And that's what we felt good about. We felt good that when we were using the app, there was nothing in there seemed to indicate that the way you do what you do on there, that anyone would know who I am doing it.
Yeah, the technology is in place to make sure that even the best defense lawyer in town could not figure out who our tipsters are, because at the end of the day, I can go into court, put my hand on a Bible, I have no idea who our tipsters are. And that's by design, because if I don't know who you are, then nobody else can know as well. And you will be protected. We guarantee that.
Well, Trish, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and look forward to get you back in the future.
Absolutely.
You've made me famous. Thanks for the award.
Congratulations again.
And for the television show Lee Pitts Live, Crime Prevention Award, Crime Stoppers, Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers Award. And we're so honored about that. Let me bump you out. Remember, those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by those like our fine Crime Stoppers organization here in Southwest Florida. And Miami has the oranges, but Crime Stoppers of Southwest Florida has got the
heat.
Juice.
I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking basketball. Oh my.
See there, people, you never
Wow.
know. We're going to leave that one in. We need to have a few mistakes. We'll be right back.